How to add a weekly spread to your digital planner in Affinity Publisher. Hi, Kerry here from Dream Creator B, and welcome to my channel where we show you how to make money online with low content products like KDP low content books, printables and digital planners. So this is actually a second part to a previous video that I created, and in that previous video I showed you how to actually go about creating a digital planner in Affinity Publisher, and you can go and check that video out down in the link below or in the top right hand corner. So what we've got with this original one here, I created all of this in that previous video showing you how to actually set everything up and how to use your master pages, and also where I got all the images from, which is in Creator Fabrica. Again, you can go and check all those links out in the previous video. But now what we want to do is we want to actually add things to this planner to make it more of an actual planner than like a journal with some vague information. So we've got January here, but it doesn't mean anything. What we can do is we can create a calendar to go on this January page, and we can also create some of the goals and strategies or visions for January or anything like that. And then inside of the weekly January, instead of having like this dot grid, we can actually take that off and have a weekly spread, either a 2-page spread or a single spread. In fact, I'll show you designing both, and then you can decide what you want to do. So let's start digging in. So in the master page, we've got different interior page, which is this one here. As you can see, if I double click on that, then you can see the dots are there. And we've also got the monthly tab here, which is actually linked with this one here, or it's linked with all my monthly ones, with my February, March, and April, May, all the ones which I haven't actually put the colours in yet because I was showing you how to do it in the previous video, but we will finish those off. What I want to do on this monthly tab is actually I want to create something on this side here that's going to appear on every single one of the month's tabs. So what I'm planning on creating is like a goals for the month and strategies to get you there. So all I need to do is use the text box tool and just draw it out, or I could use the artistic text tool and just draw it out, and then I can type out goals for the month. And you'll see that that has now started to appear on all of my monthly pages. Obviously it's too big and I need to change the March one across as well. So I'm going to go back to the monthly one there. I am going to resize goals for the month, and because I've used the artistic text tool, when I resize it, it changes the size of the font for me. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to highlight the font and then choose a different font that will go with my digital planner. And obviously when you're choosing your fonts, make sure that you can get them from different places, but make sure that the ones that you use are for commercial use, especially if you plan on selling your own digital planner. So I've made my selection and we will move on to the next part. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to use my pen tool to actually draw some lines. So I'm going to click on the point where I want the line to go, and I'm going to hold my shift button down and just drag out, and then I've got a straight line there with a stroke. I can copy that line by clicking on the move button, which is the black arrow, and holding down the alt button and then just drag, and then I've got a new line there. I can do this for as many lines as I want, and it doesn't matter where I line it up because I will tidy it up just now. Okay, I'm happy with the amount. I'm going to go onto the layer panel and select all my lines. Then I'm going to go to the alignment tool at the top here. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to select a left align, and then I'll bring it in as soon as I've distributed it evenly. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to drag into where I want it to be. And I'm also going to now group these lines by pressing Command G or Control G on your keyboard. I'm also going to rename that so I know what they are. So I'm going to click on the group and then type out lines. I'm going to change this goals for the month. I'm going to change it to a lowercase, so, well, more sentence case really. So goals for the month or goals of the month. And I'm just going to type it out now and see if that looks a lot better. I'm going to copy goals of the month. So Command C or Control C, and then Command or Control V to paste, and then I'm going to drag that down, and then I'm going to change that to strategies or to whatever you want it to be. And now I'm going to copy that group of lines, so Command or Control C and Command or Control V to paste, and then I'm going to drag that down as well. And that will now go on to every single one of our months tabs. So if I click on January, you can see that January has the goals of the month and strategies. It is also on the February, but it's not on the March one. And the reason why is because I haven't applied the master for that. So if I go and apply master and change it from interior to the month, you can see that that has now changed for March. And then I can do the same for April. So I can right click and select apply master and then change it from interior to the month tab. And I can then click OK. And then I can do the same for May. And I can click apply master. I can click change month tab. And what I could actually do is go and check out all the other months, get those numbers, and then I can do them all at the same time. So I can click OK. I'm just going to quickly grab all the different page numbers for the months. So I'll speed through this. I have selected the December tab, right clicked and applied master. I'm going to change it to month, and I'm going to write the exact numbers that I want for each month. So 32, 38, 44, 50, 56, 62 and 68. And then I'm going to click OK, but before that I'm going to make sure that it says replace existing. And now you can see that that's for December. I'm just going to scroll up and see if it's there for November as well. And yes, November's got it, so that's worked out nicely. So in the previous video, I actually changed the January tab to a different color. So I want to actually change this back to white. So I'm going on my layer panel onto the picture frame, clicked on the picture frame, and now I'm going to select white from the swatches at the top there. And then I'm going to do the exact same for the second picture frame. Click on the rectangle and then click on white. I also did it for February, so I need to go back down to February and do the exact same thing. Again, open up the layer panel, click on the first picture frame on the rectangle and then select the white color, and the same with that one. Now you might decide to do a different color if you think it stands out. Okay, that is our first part done. So I'm going to go to January. And I'm going to put a calendar on this side. So I'm going to move January up and double click inside the artistic text tool there and type out 2023. Now I need a table to actually create my calendar. So I'm going to drag it out. I need 7 rows and 7 columns. And as you can see at the side, it's telling me exactly how many I've got. So I've got 7 rows and 1 column. And then if I start dragging out, it'll start creating more columns for me. So it needs to go way out, but don't worry, we can bring that back in and resize it. So I'm going to go to the blue there and get the double handle, drag it in, and then I'm going to drag it down. So I like that size, but we've still got some more to do. So in the top row, I'm going to actually put the days of the week. So I'm going to start with M for Monday, T for Tuesday, W for Wednesday, T for Thursday, F for Friday, S for Saturday, S for Sunday. No, I need to do that again. So capital S for Sunday. I'm going to highlight them. I'm then going to align them. So I'm going to center a line, and I'm also going to center vertically. Then I'm going to drag up using the 2 handles there on the grey part so that that's not such a big box. and then I'm going to drag that down to fill the page again. So the 1st of January starts on Sunday, so I'm going to type number 1, and then I'm going to go across and fill it in, and we know there's 31 days in January, so I'm going to speed through this, and you'll notice that I make an error, so I need to actually go back and check my dates. So now I've filled in all my text, I want to get it to the same type of font that I had before. So I'm going to click at the top, and then I'm going to select recent so that I can use the same font that I've used for goals of the month and strategies. I'm also going to change the font size down to 12 because I want the numbers to be smaller. Then again, I'm going to do the days of the week as well, highlight that, click on my font, go to recent, select my recent one, and I'm also going to make that bold. And then I'm going to do the exact same for January. I'm going to go again to the font, to the recent one. This time I'm going to select bold and underline. I'm also going to select the move tool and move January so that it looks like it's more in the center. So the move tool is the little black arrow. So I also can group those, and I can do that by Command G or Control G. And then what I can do is I can actually now copy that and bring it down and put it onto February. I can also add it into my assets. Now that would be another video, and that can absolutely speed up your creation time. So what I can do now is just copy this group that I created for the January calendar. So Control C or Command C, go down to February. I'm going to get rid of that Feb that I typed there, and then I just copy it and paste by Control V or Command V. Change the January to February, and then what I now need to do is delete all the numbers because they're in the wrong place. And actually Wednesday is the first day of February in 2023, and remember that there is only 28 days, so I'm just going to speed through these quickly. I've got an extra row, so I want to delete it. So I click on the 2 arrows and then change it to 6 instead of 7. And now I can just drag that down. So I've got the right amount of rows. I'm going to highlight it because it's not the right font. So I'm going to go back up to the font, click on the drop down, make sure I'm on recent, select my recent one, and also reduce the font size down to 12 so it fits in exactly with what we've got. And then you can do the same for every single other month. Now we need to start actually creating our interior. So at the moment we've got dot grids. Now we can change that to be daily or weekly. Now if we were going to do it for daily, we would have to create a lot more pages and we'd have to re-hyperlink everything. So for this example, I'm just going to create some weekly spreads and show you 2 different weekly spreads that we can use. Now we're going to create our new interiors for our weekly spread. So I'm going to highlight the interior master page. I'm going to duplicate that because I might want to actually keep my dot grid for something else. So I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call it double weekly. So I'm just typing that in. And then what I might do is actually add January and actually keep that so that I can put a small calendar for January, which is quite helpful. I'm going to duplicate this now. So duplicate, and this time I'm going to change it from double weekly January to single weekly. Now, if you were going to put a small calendar on each one of these, you would have to create, say, 12 doubles or 12 singles. But this is just showing you the example of what we'll be doing. So now I need to actually start tidying up. So now I want to get rid of the dot grids that are here. So I'm going to highlight the top group. I'm going to go down until I see the bottom group of all these dots on my layers. I'm now going to actually group these all together. So Command G or Control G, and then I'm just going to simply uncheck them so they're no longer available on my double weekly January interior. And while I'm here, I want to tidy up the interior one as well. So I'm going to go and grab all the groups of those dots. Actually, I've selected the rings. I don't want those. So I'm going to select the groups again. So back down, not right down to the bottom, and then I'm going to Command G and put those in the group there. I now want to move them below the rings because they're actually on top of the rings, so they look like they're actually going through it. And it's only in case I need to use this file again why I'm tidying it up. So while I'm here, I might as well do that job. And then we'll move on and start creating our double spread. Actually, I need to do the same for the single weekly spread. So I'm going to click on that master page. Again, I'm going to go and select the groups. I'm going to use Command G to group them, or Control G and uncheck. Now, I could actually delete that group completely, but if I want to know it's there, I'm just going to rename it as well. So you can rename all your groups. So I'm just going to double click on group and type .grid. And now I've got that there if I ever want it, or I can just leave it unchecked. Okay, for the double weekly spread, I'm actually going to use 2 tables. So we'll start with the first one. I need 3 columns and 2 rows. So I'm just going to draw them out. And again, you can see the black box that appears telling us how many. So I've now got 3 columns and 2 rows. I need to resize that. Obviously, it's not right for what I want. So I'm just dragging that in onto that first page. I also want to reduce that first row. Again, I'm just going to keep resizing it until I'm happy with things. I also want to move it up. So I need to actually click on the move tool to actually move it up. And then drag that down. And again, resize that top column. So again, I need to actually drag onto the table tool to actually resize that. So go back onto my table, click on the table tool, and then in the grey box, just up. Make sure that I drag that up and then resize again. So now I'm going to type out Monday and then Tuesday and Wednesday. Now this is not going to fit in, so I'll have to resize, and it helps if I spell correctly as well. So I'm going to highlight that top. I'm actually going to change my font. So I've gone to recent, and I'm also going to select size 16, and then I'm going to change my alignment, so center align for that as well. I'm also going to do middle align, so I need to re-highlight that row again, and then center vertically, so that should be nicely in the middle. I'm going to duplicate the table here, so I'm going to click on the table layer. I'm going to type Command J or Control J. That has now duplicated that for me. I'm going to use the move tool and drag that across. So now I've got 2 tables, but I'm missing a column. So I need to click on the table tool again. And at the top column there, I've just click on it there. It allows me to change it to 4. I'm going to resize that by just dragging with the handlebars, and I'm going to type in Thursday, if I can spell it correctly again. And this is a lot bigger than my previous font, so I need to highlight it, click on the fonts, click on recents, and then change my size down to 16. That doesn't seem to be fitting in like it does with the other. So I'm going to check the size of my cells. So I'm going to click on the cell that I want. So I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to go up to the table tool at the top here. Click on that. Now this actually brings out the table tool, tells me everything. So the cell size is 1.201 for the width. So that's for every single one. But on the other table, it's actually bigger. It's 1.216. So I need to change this table. So I've highlighted it all, and now I'm going to change this size here to 1.216, so it matches the exact same size, and you can see that everything now fits in. So that is my double weekly spread set out, but I haven't put a date with it because it's undated. So what I can do is I can put a small January calendar on here. So I'm going to go to the January interior. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to select the group that's got our calendar and date. I'm going to copy that, Command C or Control C. I'm going to go back to my double weekly interior. I'm going to Command V to paste. And then I'm just going to resize the table. You can see it doesn't look very good at the moment. I'm going to click on the move tool to move it across. And then again, I'm just going to resize to try and fit it into what I want. Now January looks very small in there, so I need to go inside my group, select January on its own, and then just use the move tool to drag it up and make it a little bit bigger. And again, if I select the table on its own, I can just move that out of the way so I can start resizing that individually and changing the font size as well. So I need to actually be on the table tool, and then again I need to highlight the whole table. It lets me, and now I'm going to change my font size to a smaller font so it actually fits in. So I've gone to 9, and as you can see, everything fits in with 9, but at 10 it's just a little bit too squashed in. I'm going to see if I can make the table a little bit bigger. I'm trying to zoom in, but for some reason it's not letting me zoom in. But I've got the right size now. I need to be on the right table. I'm just going to resize these. And again, I'll have to change my font. But this is what you need to do when you start designing. You need to play around with your layouts and see which ones actually work best for you. So again, I've gone into the table tool so I can check the actual size so that they're the exact same. I'm not eyeballing it, I'm actually using the same size as the previous one so that it's the exact same and they all look right. And again, I need to change the size of my font because that Wednesday doesn't fit in. It's gone down to 14, that now fits in. So I keep moving these backgrounds, so I need to click on the picture frame and click on the lock tool, and now I won't move my backgrounds. So now I can move my tables about without worrying about moving them because I've locked those background picture frames. So as you can see, I'm now resizing everything. I've moved that table window out of the way so you can actually see what I'm doing. I also want to make that January calendar just a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to go inside the group so I can actually move it around as well. So I'm clicking on the table inside that calendar group, and I'm using my arrow key just to move it slightly, and again I'm going to just use the move tool to drag that down. Now what I want to create is, say, an extra box for people to put the notes in. But you've got to remember that with these digital planners that people actually put their own stickers and things in. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool to create my own box. And here I can actually now see that my colour for my background is actually grey. So I will change that. But what I want to do is put a stroke around this box. So I've made it 0.6 by clicking on the stroke tool. I'm also going to select January 2023. I'm going to copy that, Command C, Command V to paste it. I'm also going to drag it outside of the group. And then I'm going to drag that text down to above that box I've just created. And I'm going to call that notes. So I'm just going to delete this and retype the word notes. So now that's our double spread created. I want to go and see what it actually looks like before I change the colour of the picture frame. So I'm just going to get rid of this table window. So I'm going to click on page 3. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to apply master. And this time I'm going to change it to the double weekly January. I'm going to click OK. And now we can actually see that my double spread is there. And we can clearly see that that is a grey colour. So I don't want that grey colour. So I'm going to go back to that master page for double weekly January. I'm going to click on the picture frame. Take the lock off by just clicking on it, and then I'm going to change it to white. I'm going to do the exact same with the other picture frame, and I'm going to change that to white, and then I'm going to go back to page 3, and I'm just going to check that that is the right colour. So I'm quite happy with that. There might be some mistakes that I need to come back to and edit, but we'll move on to the next one. I'm going to duplicate this month tab so that I can use it for February. So I'm just going to click on it and rename that February. And then what I can do is I can rename my title February 2023, and then I can start inputting all my dates in the table that I've already got created. So I can go along and highlight and delete all the information in these tables and then start numbering. But what I could also do is I could go to my February page that I've already created a calendar on. So I can scroll down and go to, I think it's page 8. And then I can copy that table like we did previously. So Control C or Command C, go back up to my double weekly for February and then paste it in using Control V. And then I can just drag that across using the Move tool, which is the black arrow. See if I want to resize it to the same size. And if I want to make the other one disappear, I can just uncheck it on the layers panel, or I can actually delete it. So you would spend time creating it, tidying it up, making it nice and neat, having this exact same font. And then once you've done that, you would go to page 9, which is the first page in February, and apply the master, and then change it to the double weekly for February. And then that would be your page for all the February month. Now let's go and create the single spread. So I need to go back to my master page, just look for the single weekly January, and then I can start creating it. So I want to just change the color of this picture frame because it's grey. So I've gone back in, clicked on the layers, and then changed the color. I am going to go to my double weekly January, and I'm going to grab hold of my January calendar that I resized earlier. I'm going to copy that, so Control C or Command C, and then I'm going to paste it onto this side, so Command V or Control V, and then I'm just going to resize it, make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to use the table tool on the left hand side. I'm going to draw out a table. I only want 7 rows and 1 column, and this is where I'm going to put the days of the week. So I'm just going to make this a bit bigger and stretch it out, and then I'm going to stretch it wide across this front page, and then I'm going to type in the days of the week, so I'll speed through this. I'm just going to change my font, so I need to highlight the table. Then I'm going to go up to Arial and then click on Recent and select the font that I've been using throughout, and I'm going to size it at size 14. So I'm going to use the table tool again. This time I'm going to create like a little habit tracker so I can keep track of my habits over the week. What I want is 8 columns and maybe 5 rows. So I'm going to drag out until I can see that I've got 8 columns. And again, you can see that little black box that's telling me how many columns I've got. So I've got 8 and now I've got 5 rows. And then I just need to drag it in to start resizing. So in column 1 or column A, should I say, I'm going to type out the title habit tracker. But first I need to actually resize the columns. So let me see how big I need to get things first. So I'm going to type habit tracker, if I can spell it right. And then I'm going to put Monday, T for Tuesday, W for Wednesday, T for Thursday, F for Friday, S for Saturday, and S for Sunday. Now we can see that habit tracker doesn't really fit across. So if I use the double arrow on column A header, it's made that quite small. So I'm going to use the table tool. I'm going to highlight this top row here, and then I'm going to select my font. So recent font that I've used before. I'm going to change it to 14, and then what I want to do is also align my text, so center vertically, and I'm also going to center align so it looks nice and neat. But I'm still not happy at the way the size of the table is, so I'm just going to stretch it out and see if I can get habit tracker all on one line. So it's not working there, so I'm going to just resize column B, stretch that as well, and then see if I can do it again. Hang on. Yep, so I'm on column A. I've stretched that, so I'm happy with that now. That fits there. But I need a decent size for people to actually tick. So I want to find out the size of what the Monday cell is. So that is 0.26. But I think what I'll do is I'll highlight the Monday through to Sunday. And I'm going to change it to 0.3 and see how that fits. So, yep, quite happy with that. I'm just going to stretch it now, make it a little bit bigger, and that fits. So I'm pleased with that. Now I've got that table how I want. I'm actually going to move my calendar across to the left-hand side of this page. So I'm going to select the table, then the move tool, and then just drag it across. And then I think I'll just move this habit tracker up a bit so it's directly below the January 2023. I'm going to create another table here. So I'm getting the table tool. I'm going to drag out, and what I want is 2 columns. So I'm going to go to 2 columns, and then I'm just going to go down and get as many rows as I can. Then I'm going to resize my A column so it's actually bigger than my B column. So basically it's the task that I want to get done this week. So I'm going to go up to the January title there on my calendar. I'm going to copy that. So Control C and then Control V to copy, and then I'm just going to drag that down out of the group and then drag it down above my table. And here I'm going to write down what I need to get done. So tasks that need to be done. And then I think I'll just resize that down. Maybe to 18 points. Yep. Oh, I didn't do the E. I'm just going to go grab that again. And then I'm going to change the E to that size as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. Just going to move it up a bit. Then I think I might resize this down to 18 as well. And that looks a bit neater. There we go. And then I can just resize everything again. I've added an extra column to the habit tracker. I'm going to copy and paste January 2023 again. And this time I'm going to just drag it across. And then I'm going to rename this to Grateful For so that people can write down their gratitudes for the week. And then I'm going to just highlight it and making sure I've got all the letters, and then I'm just going to resize it, make sure the font's the right font. So I've done it down to 18. Now I'm going to just move it up a bit. Oops, I've moved the background. Again, if you want to lock different parts of your digital planner, then click on the layer you want to lock and then click on the lock button on the layer panel. And then it just makes it a lot easier to move things around. So I'm going to use the table tool. This time I'm just going to use 1 column and put some rows down, just drag them down, drag it out, resize it, move it across so that it fills in all that space that I want it to fill in. I'm just going to drag it out a bit further, then I'm going to move it in, move it a bit nearer, and then just drag it back in. So, yep, that looks really good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to highlight this table and I'm going to remove the outside borders. So I'm going to click on the table tool. I'm going to click on the outside border that's already highlighted. Then I'm going to click on the color fill. And then on the little circle that's got the stripe through, I'm going to click on that. And that has removed my outside borders. But I've noticed that I'm actually missing that bottom border. So again, if I go and click on that bottom cell and then make sure I click on the bottom cell again and then click on the black circle, that should bring that line back. So that is the January single weekly spread completed. So I'm just going to get rid of this window for the tables. I'm going to go into the January spread. And then I'm going to click on page 4. I'm going to right click on that page 4. I'm going to click Apply Master. And I'm going to change it from Interior to Single Weekly January. And then that is that page there. So you've now got a choice that you can put between a single and double weekly spreads. If you're going to keep this like single weekly spread, you'd need to go and create 12 different masters for the different months. So for February, January, and all sorts, but you could just duplicate the exact thing and just change the calendar. And again, like I say, you could keep it with the double weekly spread as well. The choice is yours. So to do it for February, what you need to do is duplicate the single weekly January spread and then change that name as well. So double click and then change it from single weekly January to single weekly February. Then double click on the page so you're on the right one, and then change the date from January to February. And then here we need to delete all the numbers that are here. So just highlight the table, press the delete button, and then I'll start typing in. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and I'll speed through and type these in. I'm just going to delete that extra row by clicking on the drop down, change it to 6. Now I need to resize everything because it's a bit big. So I've highlighted all the numbers and I'm changing the size down to, I think it's 9. Let me just check. Yeah, that one's 9. So again, highlight all the numbers and then change that down to 9. My font's not the same either, so I need to change that. And then change the center and change the right align. So that is all nicely done, and I just resize it, make sure it all fits in. So all I need to do now is apply this February to the February month. So I go down to where February is, right click on the first clear page for February and then apply master, and then on the drop down select the single weekly for February, click OK, and now that is ready for me to be using. So I've just gone through and started to check my calendar and realised that my double weekly spread, I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I need to actually change this. So I need to make sure I'm actually on my double weekly January. So double click on that. That's in the master pages. And then I'm going to change this to Thursday instead of Monday. And then I'm just going to speed through the other days as well. For some reason, Friday is not the same, so I'm just going to go in and change that. So click on area, click on recent, choose the recent font that I've been using and change it down to 16. Okay, no, that doesn't look the same size, so let me just check the size of the others. So the others are 14, so I need to change this back down to 14. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all those weeks or days of the weeks. I'm going to go to my double spread for February. I'm going to highlight that and then paste that there as well. So that's using Control V or Command V. Then I'm going to go in and just check to see if that's changed on my double spread, and it has for January. And then I'm just going to go to February and check if it's done it for February as well. So that is how to create your interiors for your digital planner. Again, remember you can put all sorts of things inside of your digital planner. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be notified about any other videos I make. Remember, I make videos to show you how you can go about creating these types of low content products like KDP low content books, printables, and these digital planners. And if you haven't already checked out part 1 of this video, go and check it out now.